painful backfire for Meghan Markle when the US boycotted Sussex.
Meghan Markle suffered a painful setback when the US boycotted Sussex. Is America losing interest in the Montecito's petulant princess? Even the progressive publication that spoke with Meghan Markle at her £11.2 million property in California smacked of disgust. America, the land of the free, the home of the brave and the megabucks TV deal, welcomed the Sussexes when they escaped the horrors of royal life in 2020. In that iconic interview with a fawning Oprah Winfrey, the public and press eagerly devoured every last bit of the couple's horrific narrative of bigotry and rejection. Shock and empathy were evoked by how cruelly the British press treated them. They quickly rose to the status of Duke and Duchess across the water, creating their own modern court, mixing with Hollywood celebrities and the super-rich, cultivating their own brand of philanthropy and exploiting their royal titles in order to close multi-million-dollar business deals to most Americans. This was respectable, if not admirable. However, only 2 years later, there are alarming indications that America might be becoming weary of it all. Worrying for the Sussexes, who must continue to capitalize on public curiosity in order to support their opulent lifestyle in Montecito, which was partially exposed in the Duchess's most recent interview with New York fashion website The Cut. Could it be that Americans are realizing that the Sussexes may not be much more than a never-ending source of resentment over how they were treated in the UK? As we mentioned yesterday, the New York Post front page featured the headline "Toddler and Tiara-Spoiled Princess Meghan Still Complaining About Royal Family" to highlight Meghan's most recent media appearance. More importantly, the venerable Washington Post warned her that she ought to leave royal traumas behind to prosper in the media. And according to a US TV insider, some of the luster has faded. That interview with The Cut may end up being a turning point in the Sussexes' relations with the United States. Even more unexpectedly, she was given a rather bad interview. A major factor in the Sussex camp's decision to give their journalist an audience was undoubtedly the fact that The Cut is part of New York Magazine, which is about as woke as you can go in the US mainstream media. However, it was difficult to ignore the undertone of disdain in the 6,400-word article by African-American feature writer Allison P. Davis. At the couple's £11.2 million property, Meghan welcomes her with the perfect level of warmth, and the writer is stunned by the affluent, impeccable, tasteful, if marshmallowy beauty. A Soho House candle is lit by an invisible hand in the grandness of a pair who renounce the life of royalty, but work from two luxurious club chairs positioned facing into the room like thrones behind a single desk. Davis chronicles every comment made during the conversation, no matter how absurd, while subtly suggesting that Meghan is much more cunning and self-absorbed than she would have us believe. Later, Davis writes arrogantly, "The Bachelor producer in her head deliberates how much should be spoken." In response to a query about why she believes the royal family treated the couples differently than other members of the family. On another occasion, the Duchess makes a dramatic clandestine announcement that she is preparing to return to the social media platform Instagram, though she later backtracked. According to Davis, Meghan looks around. Make sure nobody who would be is listening in. When Meghan reveals to her that she and Harry initially couldn't afford their new home, she responds in a similarly sarcastic manner, finding the discovery to be utterly humiliating. Even though the interview hardly resembles a Jeremy Paxman interview, the Sussexes should have been on guard. A year ago, such mocking of the former Meghan Markle in the American media would have been unthinkable. They can't expect us to doff the cap indefinitely, as a seasoned member of the American news media said yesterday. It had you wondering if they can still count on any of us to fight their corner without just a touch of balance. And this interviewed, subtly sarcastic tone undoubtedly had an impact on its audience. The elite of liberal New York ripped on the Duchess in online comments, branding the Sussexes as utterly self-obsessed and stupid, while others simply remarked, "Who cares?" The same delicate economics that have allowed the pair to live in a palace in a better climate, as Davis puts it, will be called into question if Americans do lose all interest in the marriage. According to reports, the pair could only afford their home after they signed two significant media deals, one with Spotify for $25 million to produce podcasts and another with Netflix for $100 million to produce movies, documentaries and TV shows. Some business professionals have questioned whether the pair is having trouble coming up with interesting things to say outside their breakup with the royal family. The Duchess's passion project Pearl, an animated children's series on Netflix, was abruptly dropped in May. The Inkler, a website for the entertainment business, reports that the news triggered a fire alarm at R12, the Sussexes' production company. Even the fiercely progressive Washington Post, once one of the Sussex's staunchest defenders in the American media, lost patience this week after a conversation with singer Mariah Carey for Meghan's new Spotify podcast. Archetypes turned into an opportunity for the Duchess to complain that she'd never been treated as a black woman until she started dating Prince Harry. The newspaper's editorial noted that the couple's entitled lifestyle made them unfit to lecture others. According to a Post columnist, the more the couple talk about what they endured in England, the more it seems that's all Americans want to hear from them. The Sussexes must stop making themselves the focus of the narrative if they are to start living a truly new life and making a bigger difference for the things they care about. In fact, a poll conducted by the economist YouGov in March 2021 indicated that the Sussexes' popularity had already decreased from the previous year, signaling the dwindling support for the couple and their monochromatic story. It's interesting to see that the couple doesn't have to look very far to find opponents for their transatlantic love. "We are more likely to do something on William and Kate now," a US TV insider reportedly said this week. Two significant trips are scheduled, and the Cambridge has recently hired Lee Thompson, a new PR director who previously worked for the American media giant. NBC's Prince William will travel to New York later this month for a meeting for the Earthshot Prize, his first trip to the United States in 8 years. In December, he will travel to the United States and give it to the victors in Boston. The presence of Kate, who is incredibly well liked in the United States, is still up in the air. If she does, Meghan will undoubtedly respond with more news-grabbing behavior. However, it might not be sufficient this time to keep the Duchess of Cambridge out of the public eye. You too. How do you feel about Meghan and Harry living in America? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below so that we can discuss them.